Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Becca with House of Lenormand. Today is July 23rd. I wanted to sit down and review the original tableau that I had done back in April. I think I posted it in May. And I wanted to go over some stuff with you guys, compare this one to the other two that I had just done recently. And I was looking at this again. I spoke on the phone yesterday with Mystic Bella. I'm not sure if you guys know who she is. I'm sure you do, but I'm going to link her channel down below for those of you guys that are not familiar with her channel. And I was telling her that I'm having a very difficult time discerning between Junior and Epstein. Their paths are either crossing, they're linked somehow, or they're running parallel to each other. And the reason that I say that is because when I did this tableau back in April 11th, 2019, I had set the intention for Trump Jr. up here to be the dog. I wanted him to show up as the dog. As you can see here, he has the scythe right before him. This person's in immediate danger, okay? Donald Trump is down here. The house is still close to him, so that's talking about him being in the White House. The bear is still close to him, so that's talking about his position of authority, okay? When we look down this line, we can see that this person is going to be in trouble. They're going to get arrested. The cross lands on the house of dog, so this person is guilty. And I believe in that reading, I had said that this person is going to jail, because if you follow this line and you look at these three, that's handcuffs, guilty, isolation. This is an institution that has to do with travel, leaving and returning, flight by air. We know that Epstein was arrested. This was my column for July. He was arrested at the airport, okay? So that's why I thought Junior was going to be arrested as well, because I did not designate this to be Epstein. I designated that to be Donald Trump Jr. So we see the jail here. If we follow this line down this way, arrested at the airport. This person speaks because they're in danger for their life, okay? There's some sort of a blockage or a delay. When I was on the phone yesterday with Bella, I figured out when I was reviewing this with her that the lilies here, this is William Barr. He presents as the lilies. And the lilies lands in the house of snake. Right below it, we have the snake. The snake lands in the house of bear. Okay, so there's some sort of an agreement here with William Barr to lie on behalf of the president, because if we follow this line here, his position in the White House is in deep trouble. It's being investigated, and the clouds come up right below, behind the stars. And I had said that in the tableau, you want the stars as far, or the clouds as far away and behind from the stars. Otherwise, it's showing a very unfortunate series of events. If we continue to follow this line, we see the coffin, and the coffin lands in the house of the moon. That's your career and your reputation. So there's some sort of an agreement here with William Barr to protect him, because they're about to end his presidency, okay? This line here, this is a financial institution with the tower and the fish. The tower lands in its own house. The fish knights to the whip, that's money laundering through an institution. The whip knights the fish, or the ship, that's trafficking, okay? And the reason that I'm saying that I'm having a hard time figuring out if Junior and Epstein are running parallel paths, or if they're intersecting at some point, because either way, if this is Junior, he's still in danger. And William Barr is way over here, so he's somewhat far away from him in the tableau, and it still shows jail and arrest at an airport. So that could possibly just be talking about Epstein being arrested at the airport, or it could be if they're running parallel, if the storylines are parallel, that could also mean that he also gets arrested at the airport. But the link between both of them is this line right here. And this is talking about the sexual affair that was paid to defraud a woman, and it's guilt, and there's guilt of corruption, because the mice lands in the house of Cross, which the cross lands back on this person. Okay, so I had Bella check me, and she did a reading. She sent it to me. I think it was like a private reading. Bella, if you're watching this, is there any way that you can please redo that video so that people can compare this to yours? Because the paths are crossing, or they're running parallel to each other, one way or the other. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to redo this. I think I've covered everything there. And I'm going to show you the second tableau that I posted a couple of days ago, where Donald Trump landed at the exit. He was exiting the tableau. And I'm going to show you again how their paths are, they're either parallel or they're linked. Okay, so let me get those, let me lay that out for you. That read, I believe I did on the 21st. I believe I just posted it. I think that was my last video that I did. So let me show you. And then on the third reading that I did, the dog had the cross right over him. So that's why I'm having a hard time trying to figure out who's who, or if they're linked somehow. Let me see, 21 here. So we have the storks, the mountain, we have the cross. Where's the cross? Where's the cross? I hope it's okay. I hope the volume is okay for you guys. There's a lot of construction going around over here, and it's a bit noisy. We have the fox next, right there. Then the scythe. Where's the scythe? Where's the scythe? And I know I had a viewer that asked me to do a grand tableau on William Barr. Please bear with me. That's going to take me a while. These are not easy to read. They take a long time. And I don't usually like to do it. This one I had done just to get a quick review of where he was between now and October, to see if the house landed anywhere near him, and it still did. But there's a lot of information in these, so please be patient. I'll try to get to that, and I would want to sit with it for a couple of weeks just to try to extract as much information as I possibly can before I would post that video. So I can do that for you. It just might take me some time. So let's see here. Where is the coffin? Okay, there's the coffin. Then we have the ship right there. Then we had the dog. This is the one I was telling you guys about. The dog. Remember, in the first one, the cross landed in the house of the dog. Oh, and what I forgot to mention in that last one, the dog landed in the same row as the key. And the key linked back to the book, which is the secrets. And then the secrets, excuse me, let me get a drink of water. I have incense burning, so I'm like choking myself out. And the book went back to the mice, which is secret corruption. The mice went back to the cross, which was what nailed whoever that dog is, if it's Junior or if it's Epstein or if it's both of them, okay? Let me get the bouquet. Okay, we're at 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Then we got the bear. Where's the bear? Where's the bear? Where's the bear? Okay, there's the bear. Then we have the moon. Then what did we have? The house. So yes, he was still close to the house, but it was behind him. And the crossroads after that. So it looks like I had said in that quick rough and dirty that I did when I first posted this, because I just wanted to see where he was. It looks like it's the beginning of a separation that's going on in October. And in that original reading that I had done, for the column of October, it showed somebody was leaving. Somebody was on their way out. So I don't know if stuff catches up to Junior in October, or they, on all the readings I've done, it looks like they start bringing articles of impeachment the closer we get to October. So let me see, the lilies. And because I noticed that William Barr had showed up in the first reading as the lilies, I'm going to take that to be the lilies as well in this reading. That's how he's presenting in the tableau. So let me see, 25. Then we have the clouds here. Then we had the mice here. Then we had the anchor right there. I hope this is in frame. I really do, because if it's not, that would really, really suck. Then we had the sun below the book. Then we had the letter. Then we had the writer, the key. We had the birds. Then we had, where is it? The fish, which is the money. Then we had the clover and the tree. And then on the very bottom, we had the tower right here. I hope you guys can see that. The tower, the woman, the stars, and the snake. Okay. First thing, and I noticed this when I transferred this over to my to a Word document, because I just kind of remember on that video I did a real quick dirty on this. We can still see that he's got the house really close to him, even though it looks like there's a separation right there. Okay. Also, let me bring up another point. When I was putting this into my computer to make the table so that I can recreate it, the garden lands in its own house. The mice lands in its own house. That's public corruption. But the partnerships that were made in that public corruption, they've been clouded over. So this lands in the house of, the ring lands in the house of the mountain. So that can mean a relationship that's been distant, because the mountain's up here and this is down here. It's not necessarily close, but it's not necessarily far away either. And then it's followed by the clouds, which is talking about this partnership that's been murky. It has been separated, and that could also lead to this being separated. His position, see, because here's the presidency, his career in the White House, him in the White House, and then there's the separation that follows it. Okay, he still has the anchor right below him. So it looks like he stays, or there's something here to do with an affair that's like, it's wrapped around his neck. This line right here is talking about leaving and returning flight by air to a remote location that he's guilty, and he's being investigated for the danger to children that's been covered up somehow, and he's lying about an affair. This knights to this. The Storks knights to Epstein. So they have the proof here, because the key goes back to Donald Trump. They have the proof either on a piece of paper, or it's recorded on some sort of device here, like a CD, a thumb drive, a recording, perhaps a photograph or something. They have proof of him engaging in this, violence against children and sexual affairs. This column down here, when we look at the storks with the coffin and the book followed by the sun, this is the safe. Somewhere like a box where you keep your secrets that gets exposed. Okay, so this is the safe, and it looks like the evidence that came out of the safe, there's something on paper that has been kept secret because this letter lands in the house of book. The book lands in the house of storks. Okay, so there's some sort of secret document that shows that he did indeed travel to Epstein's location and engaged in sexual relationships with children. These two mirror each other. The dog is in the house of whip. The whip is in the house of dog. So this is a friend that has a sexual relationship or a fight with a friend. And I had set the intention for the dog to be Junior, but he's also showing parallel to Epstein. So if we follow this line down, okay, he's got the cross right on top of him. In the previous original grand tableau, the cross was in the house of dogs, so this person gets nailed. Okay, the lilies is in the house of the tower, so this could be William Barr. Wait, let me see, what row am I? Yeah, this could be William Barr, but it doesn't look like he can block because he's protecting the president here, but there's some sort of negotiation and conversation. But if we night here, this is the cover-up, here's the exposure. Okay, so moving forward, he can try to cloud the relationship between Epstein and Trump, as well as wherever Junior is in this with Trump. He tries to cloud it over because there's public corruption here. But it looks like for Junior, he still goes here. He still goes to court or to jail. And we can also knight him to this, which could be handcuffs. This could be something on paper that is secret. So I don't know if this is talking about a sealed indictment. But either way, he's got the cross right above him. In the previous reading, he opened up with the scythe and then the dog. So that's like a broken relationship, a broken friendship, or a person that's in immediate danger. And they both are, you know. So let me see, what else did I get out of this? And we're at 18 minutes. The tower goes back to the key, which goes back to him, okay, and his cover-up, because he links back over here. So if this is Donald Trump Jr., it looks like William Barr. I'm going to go ahead and say that Barr shows up at the lilies just based on the original tableau that I had done. And this is public office, but there's also public corruption here. Here's the president, but here's the talks and the negotiations with a woman that has money. So I don't know if Ivanka Trump is paying him or he has some sort of William Barr's agreement here. Let me see. Let me follow William Barr. William Barr's in the house of Tower. Then we have the garden in the house of garden. And then the ring in the house of mountain. So there may be some sort of an agreement for him to obstruct for Junior. However, the mountains lands behind Junior. And he's got 3 negative cards right above him. He's got the mountain, he's got the cross, and he has the fox, which is fraud, manipulation, a con, and it can also be someone that's investigating him. And the fox lands in the house of house. So they're investigating perhaps his link to what's going on in the Trump administration and the White House. But I'm telling you, the stories are parallel. Like, I can't tell if they're running like this or if they're crossing. But he's in danger too, because he knights up here to the cross, or to the scythe in the house of tree. So he's in danger for either his life, and I can see where that would apply to Epstein as well, especially because they don't like those kind of people in prison. So, but if this clears up here, but then there's a split. And if this is Barr, he has an agreement to obstruct and cloud over because there's trouble for a separation and there's public corruption. It's a persistent public corruption. But if this is Junior, he delivers something that links back to this guy, to Trump. This right here could also, this line here could also be talking about whatever was in the safe that we heard about, you know, the piles of cash, the piles of diamonds, the fake passports, all that stuff. There's probably more evidence that comes out and gets delivered. There may be some sort of an important conversation going on here that may have had something to do with the woman and how they're going to use money to pay for pay this guy, because the fish knights back to the lilies. So there may be some sort of news that gets delivered that reveals a conversation about payment for this person right here, and I'm going to read that as Barr. I could be wrong, but based on the first tableau, he showed up as the lilies. I'm also seeing there's some luck here. Yeah, it's going to be exposed because this lands in the house of sun, the clovers, and the tree lands back in the house of moon, which is his career, and the moon lands in the house of the fox, which is being investigated. So I'm wondering if everything, as it continues to develop, something's going to come out. And I'm not sure if this is going to be a reporter that brings forward the news, if there's some sort of voicemail here with this and this that shows proof of him having conversations with a woman to pay this guy off, William Barr. But if it's money, it looks like this is either a check or it's paper money. Okay, and I had done a reading a couple of weeks ago on William Barr, and it showed that he was lying about, it was the fish in the letter. He was lying and covering up for either a check or paper money. So, and that's what this is where I'm getting confused. The dog presents as, in all the readings I've done, he presents as Epstein and he presents as Donald Trump Jr. In the first reading, Barr was way over here, lying for the president. In the second reading, which is this one, he lands very close to the dog. And because this person is showing up as two, Epstein and Junior, and they're both guilty and they're on their way to jail. And in the original reading for Barr, he's lying about money. And there's public corruption here, but that relationship has been covered over and obstructed or delayed. I'm wondering if we're going to be hearing about some sort of voicemail or something that's on somebody's computer, somebody's hard drive, a thumb drive, a CD, something that proves a conversation between this guy here. People are talking within a group to make a payment back to this guy, which would be public corruption. Also on this line here, this is what we got on the voicemails for Donald Trump Jr. that was in that circle to defraud out of the organization here to pay off Stormy Daniels, and Hope Hicks was there. Also, the snake is someone that is a liar, a betrayer. And it could also be another woman because it correlates to the Queen of Clubs. This here, the clouds, I'm wondering if that's being quite literal about his relationship with Stormy. Bad weather, Stormy, get it? And the payment to her that he lied about, the mistress, because that night's back to here, a false agreement, a false relationship, a relationship that is betrayed. But there's a link here to a child as well. And the child goes back to the clouds. So that's Junior's involvement with the payment. So I'm wondering if Junior is presenting as the dog and the child, but him and Epstein are running like this, or they're like this. And if this is Junior, he's in immediate danger because he's got the scythe right above him, right before him, so that it's going to cut the child. For the cover up here, the clouds goes back to the crossroads, which is the separation, which goes back to the stars, which is something, your hopes, your success. It's going on a new path or guidance, but it's also the card for technology. So something in somebody's computer, a voicemail, a hard drive, a thumb drive, a CD, something like that, something of that manner that has to do with technology. And it goes back to here, which is he's linked, like he's chained to whatever they have on him on technology, which goes back to the affair that he lied about here, which is goes back over here, which this guy is guilty of. So Don Jr.'s in danger, Epstein's in danger, and it all has to do around sexual affairs. William Barr, as we all know, is corrupt, and he's followed by public corruption here. The garden in its own house and the mice in its own house. He may try to cloud over this agreement because he was paid. He was paid, like, and he was paid somehow by a woman. Even though these are far, it knights to her, she knights to here. This is everything that's going on in their relationship. So the lilies, the garden, the ring, the clouds, and right below it is the rider, the key, the birds, and the fish. So he's delivering news that has to do with the secret. Okay. This is Trump in public office. This is, let me see. The ring is in the house of an agreement to obstruct, and there's a conversation with the woman. And then we have, this could be multiple cover-ups. This could be the payment that was made to Stormy Daniels, and also a payment that was made back to him, because this, the fish lands in the house of lilies. Let me see. So I don't know what month is what, because I only asked for August through October, but it looks like the House is starting to move with articles of impeachment, and that showed up in the other tableau, the third one that I had done, because I did it again so that because he was all the way over here, and then he landed over here. He still had the house and everything close by. So it still showed him there, but right here you see the separation. He's staying, but they're starting to separate him. And it all revolves around all of the affairs that he has. And they have all the dirt on him because the key lands back on him, which goes back over here. And if we follow this line, this is the cover-up, something that happened overseas with a friend that was giving him gifts for his position of authority and his presidency, and then that gets split up. So I'm wondering if Epstein was also blackmailing him with all the stuff he had on him for having sexual relationships with children up here, and he was using that to publicly corrupt Maybe that's why Acosta got put in the position that he was put in, even though Trump says that that friendship had been severed here and here. He had dirt on him. There's something on technology, whether that's a CD, whether that's a recording, pictures, whatever it is. And they have it all. They have it all, and they have him on this, on all of it. And it looks like he's, if this is William Barr, the Lilies, he's traveled as well. If we follow this line of influence here, there's the travel by air, leaving and returning to a remote location. William Barr knows about Trump, and there's something here with technology going back to the public corruption. So I'm wondering if they're both involved with that whole Epstein crap. Either way, William Barr was paid, and it looks like he was paid in paper money, which goes back to the old reading I had done on him about paper money, which I think in that one I had said he either has stocks or he has cash or a check or something, but it's looking more and more like there was a conversation, a negotiation, something that was done to pay him off to cover this up. Also, in the original reading that I had done, William Barr was up here, and everything down here was the cover-up. Covering up public corruption. Let me see. Let me go back to that reading. We had the lilies in the house of snake, the snake in the house of lilies, which was William Barr lying for Trump. We had the book in the house of the mice, which is secret corruption. And then we had the clouds in the house of the sun, which could be covering up the success, like covering it up from coming out to light, from it being exposed. And then next to that was the coffin in the house of the moon, which is talking about the cover-up. Well, I redid the tableau here showing everything that they covered up has already come to light. If this is Barr, it's behind him. It's not before him, it's behind him. So he's going to try to muddy it here and perhaps make it hard for them to expose the link that he had to payments. Also, because Trump is in the house of coffin and the key goes back to him. This is a link between this, and this. So we're at 32 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up. It looks like he gave the orders for the cover up. And then because he's far away from everybody here, he's far away from Junior, he's far away from Epstein, and he's far away from Ivanka. He remains in a position of authority, but he's distanced himself from everything. But it all links back to him, and they have that info once they got into the safe here. Okay, I'm going to wrap that up. We're at 32 minutes. I want to read on David Archie also as well, because he's coming. I saw on Rachel Maddow, I think it was last week, that he had gone into a private meeting with the Intelligence Committee. I don't know if it was the Senate or if it was the House, but he spoke with the Intelligence Committee. And then tomorrow we have the Mueller hearing. So I want to see what David Archie had to say, if we can get a read on that. And I'm hoping we get the birds so that we know what they talked about. Okay, so please feel free to leave me any questions or anything down below. I can continue to expand on this because there is so much information here that it's hard to get to in 33 minutes. And we didn't even start following the chains. We didn't start looking at, boxes of 9. We didn't start following. We didn't do too many lines of influences. So there's a lot here. So please feel free to leave me any of those comments or questions down below. For the person that requested the grand tableau on Barr, I'll try to get to that. Just be patient with me because these take a lot of time. Okay, I'll see you guys on my next one. Thanks. Bye.